Hello everyone and welcome back to Of Bricks and Dragons. Today we are looking at the Dreamzzz Space Series set. I'm recording this with a headset on, so I don't know how the volume's going to go. Hoping everything works good. If it doesn't, then I'll have to redo this. In the meantime though, looking at what we have here, so they gave us a couple alternative builds, and that is one of the things about the Dream series. So I think it's really good for the kids. There are some things out of the Dreamzzz that I really like. I like how some of these fantasy creatures are. I really think that's kind of nice. Even, because I was thinking about some of them for like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of theme or whatever else. So as we start off our build, we're going to build the regular car as it is. So just the regular car. You get the tires on it and everything's going fine. You have two different sets just to get to that. From here, once we get to bag 3, then we get to decide, do we want this to be some sort of rover? Or do we want to make this into a spaceship on its own? So really, it gives us options and opportunities. And even if I wanted to change this back, being to just a regular car, it does separate pretty good. I'm going to sit that on there again. I mean, it does a pretty good job at being a nice little space shuttle. It's got the guns, and if you've watched my videos before, I'm not a big one for the shooters. I usually leave them blank or empty, or however you want to really consider it. I'm not a big one for having the shooters all set up there, but that's just me. And then we can take this off, and there we are. And then all we have to do is put the tires back on. Now, by taking the tires, and of course this is all set up on here, then that means that our little rover for our monkey Albert here, I'm kind of cheating and looking at the box because I can't. I watched some of the show, and I like the concept of what they're trying to do. I just kind of stopped watching it because I just kind of ran out of time, and I was watching some other stuff and trying to get Lego sets together, as well as trying to do 2 different role-playing games. I don't really have a lot of time at times, and as well as working a full-time job and that. So just as a car, now if you put this into your Lego city area, I want you to be aware this is an 8 wide, so this is going to be on the same size as the Lego Speed series. So this will be a wider car for your city. I should have, and I didn't. Of course, now I'm thinking about it. Trying to reach back behind me, and I do have a curve plate here. It's a little dusty as always, but I'll move our box. I'll try and get our plate here, so you can see that really does take up that entire width plus a little extra. So if you're looking at this to go into your town, this does take up quite a bit of room. Most cars are usually 6 studs wide, not 8. So depending on the options you're trying to go for, that will be a little bit wider. I figured I'd keep it more as a space set, although because I'm doing a little bit more with Star Trek, I was kind of thinking, instead of giving it just the wings, I was kind of thinking if I could have these put together and look a little bit more like the Starfleet engines, where they kind of go back a little bit. I was kind of thinking of something like that. I don't necessarily have to have the guns on here, but there again, as an adult and my silly mind going where it goes at times, I don't always have to. But there again, I do enough combat stuff with the role-playing games and all that as well. We do have extra parts here. Let me kind of show you some of the stuff here. So we have these as spare parts. So you could put Monkey Jacks in there. Albert. I want to call him Jacks. You could get Albert up there, or you could put somebody else. So Albert could actually move our arm here. We do have a radar dish here, so if you're trying to kind of do something in that regard, you could do that. So this works pretty good. I really do like this, and it fits very nicely onto the vehicle here, so that's really a nice option. I think having the extra thrusters are a little much, but you know what? The beautiful thing of what I was noticing with the if I can have this in here correctly, with the Dreamzzz series is it's trying to spark the imagination of young minds to get them interested into it. So looking at our figures now, I know they've used this character a couple different times. I've seen him in a couple different ones, and this is Jaden looking at the top of the box. And the only reason why I remember that he's being used is he's got like braces or something like that he's got on there. So and it's him in his pajamas because of course this is in the dream world where you have these little dream creatures that will go and try and hunt for people and drag them into the dream world, which is a very interesting way of doing things. And of course then we have Mr. Oz, and I believe Mr. Oz is like a science teacher or something like that, so very fitting for him to have something like this. And it looks like it's got a little jetpack on the back. There is some nice coloration. As if I tear him apart here, pull his head all off, he only has print on the one side, so if you don't put the extra hair on him, he still has kind of like a mustache and all that on here. Get a little closer so you can see him. So he's still got like a monocle, mustache and all that, even without having this extra hair on there. So if you switch it out, he's still going to have that. And to me, this looks kind of like an Iron Man type suit. And that's just the way that they do them. So I haven't seen him in this uniform in the show. I did not watch that far into it. I was just kind of finding it very interesting that they're doing all the different space. You know, okay, so you grab it from this series and that series. They even have some Lego Friends. They have some space stuff in there. In my local store that I go to, I have not found any of that as of yet. So I am thinking that if I do find it though, I might pick up one of them. They have one that's out there. Really, it's just like they're camping, which I might kick myself later for not picking it up, because I could run into something where I would like to do that later. Have like a little camping setup or whatever. I do have a couple different campers. Maybe I should do that as a different video sometime, because I do enjoy that. And there again, that's another idea for a city, where I have a small town behind me, and that you guys have kind of seen. I would like to have like a little, like a farm area, maybe like a little transition where you have some camping or something like that, and then you start getting into some of the residential and commercial and stuff like that. If I get the big city, I'd like to have some bigger buildings and the trains going around and all that stuff. So we'll figure things out. And I think like on the top of the buildings, I'd like to have some of my different planes or ships or stuff like that could land on there. I think that would be really neat. But whenever the day comes around to that, because I've got a huge mess, and I mentioned to the wife about it, and you know, she understands my frustration. I am not mad at her at any regard, because I mean, I've got 2 growing girls, so we have a pile of stuff that just keeps accumulating for maybe doing a rummage sale, and then I got some bunnies here, so yeah, we just go with there. I am not trying to push my bunnies out in any regards, and I know I have some ears listening to me. So with that being said, thank you so very much for spending some time with me, visiting me around the pool table, and seeing what kind of silliness I'm up to today. Hope you're staying warm, staying well. We're dealing with a snowstorm as I'm recording all this, so hopefully everybody's doing good. And I'll see you in the next video.